Vigilante is a story about Dexter Gooding, who has been involved in crime and served time, was deported back to Barbados, and then finds his peaceful village has become a center for crime. And he sets out full of passion and guilt to change that and becomes a vigilante. And in his quest for justice, he meets Amy, a white Barbadian woman who's got the same goal, but she's using very different weapons to get there. In this program, we're going to talk about one of the key issues in the movie, race. And we're going to talk to some of the actors in the movie, some of the people who work behind the scenes, and also just the average person on the street who can tell us about what their ideas are about race and about how this movie will affect people and how we live our lives. What do you think we mean when we say race?
When we say race, I think we mean white people, black people, Indian people. We all have like different classes of race, because even in terms of when you're black, you know, we black people, we have a thing that even if you're black and you're brown skin, they say you're a good looking brown skin girl.
Okay.
or you got good hair. You know,
okay.
So even in terms of when you're black, which is something I think that has come down from the days of slavery, the closer you are as a black person in terms of having characteristics of a white person, puts you at a sort of higher level black person. That's how some people look at it.
Interesting.
I think for some time, black people or black women have struggled to see themselves as beautiful. I don't remember seeing beautiful images of black women as a child growing up. I remember seeing lots of white Barbie dolls with long straight hair. I remember seeing images of girls on covers of magazines that were skinny, they were blonde. I never remember seeing anyone that looked like me. Even in movies, I had very, very few memories of what a black woman could look like on camera. I think there's an obsession with trying to be accepted now. And that's why so many women they're getting into the natural hair movement, you know? They're trying to find a place. It's a good thing, I think, and some people go overboard with it, but I think it's a good thing because we never were taught to accept our hair as something that was pretty. We never were taught to accept our skin as something that was worth looking at in front of us. So the images that we got were always of someone else, and that was equated to beauty. So I think it's a good thing. The obsession might be a bad word, but I think that the awareness is really, really good.
The Indians who some black people view with mistrust. I should say that I played a character for several years called Ali Singh. Ali Singh, the Kawi Soccer King, in the group Mad. So I was very familiar with the Indian culture, and my character Ali Singh would be the character that would go into the villages selling to the people in the villages, and my character was known for being a character that was sort of smart, and that was sort of like the stereotypical of how we saw the Indian, how black people see the Indian as a smart person that will come, and if you're not careful, he's going to get the best of India.
Trick you?
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Claudette Wadman, and I'm one of the actresses in Vigilante The Crossing. Very inspiring movie. First, I want to talk about my growing up. I grew up in a very loving home. I was raised by a lady called Maureen Garnes, which is Risa Garnes' mommy. And in that home also was a younger Caucasian little white girl. She was also raised in that home. And there was no type of racism going on, any kind of difference in the way we were treated. We were always treated equally somehow. I didn't make to feel lesser than or anything because we always even used to dress alike. Our clothes used to be the same type, just a different color. our shoes, our socks. The only difference was her hair was long, flowing blonde hair. And obviously mine was very natural. The thing is, what made the difference is when we go out and on the streets and people see us together. They would always comment on how I called her my little sister, how my little sister was dressed because she was white. We were dressed all alike, but it would always comment on her beauty. Oh, isn't she beautiful? Look at her lovely hair. And I used to be next to her saying, well, don't you see me? I'm right here. Aren't I pretty too? You know, and that didn't make a difference. I would even try to put myself, you know, kind of next to her as they're kind of commenting on her hair or playing with her hair. And I'm like, we're all dressed alike and I'm next to you, hello. That kind of made me feel less than. Although I didn't feel that way in the house, I felt that when we were out together. And I kind of always felt that white was better because that is how people on the outside always make you feel, you know, growing up.